we believe that we are gods in embryo, and said, doesn't look to me like anybody's very appreciative here. I'm quitting. On the morning of the first resurrection, does the coffin open and somebody jumps out and says, I'm here, Lord, give me a universe? Well, I don't think so. I think, like everything else, it's line upon line and precept upon precept.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. This normally would be the church news time, and really all there was Elder Holland's God sperm video. No kidding. Elder Holland came out with a video probably a month ago, and you can find it way down on my video feed, as it'll be Elder Holland's face and a boat, and then sperm. God sperm. Unbelievable. The nerve. And so, yeah, I've already covered this video, but they're pushing it as a brand new video on the church website. It's been out for over a month. I've been mocking it the whole time. Whenever I say God sperm, that's what I'm referring to. It's Holland's video that just came out. Or Jesus quits. That was also there. And you need to practice the resurrection. Come here, Billy. Let's practice the resurrection. You first. Dear God. Yeah, we didn't bail on marriage or turn kids away. That's another quote that I have from that video. But yeah, his main thing was, you're safe by staying in the boat. And that was Ballard's stay in the boat, is where he's stealing that from. I don't know, maybe he was watching old General Conference videos and then got inspired with God sperm. And it's just, women do not seem to get it. During the 80s, when I was in high school, everybody was talking about how women are just dumb blondes. And I liked redheads, so I didn't understand. My first date was Cindy. I would rather have called her Cynthia, but she wanted to go by Cindy Pollard. And she was a smart kid and worked at a bookstore. Was, an intelligent woman. I had no interest in the blondes that were becoming popular, for which the 90s psychologists would then convince women that it's abusive to call women a blonde. And so women were now being told to buy other colors of hair to get rid of that blonde that every woman dyed their hair blonde in the 80s for. Just so much abuse on women. But to tell women that they're just a vessel for God sperm, it's just awful. But that's what the church is promoting. Men are superior to women. Men have the God sperm. Women are just the vessels. And so you get Nelson, who came out for Christmas saying that he bears testimony that Mary was the vessel for God's sperm. It's a way to belittle and demean women, and nobody seems to get that. So, do I have, oh yeah, stock market. There was a big shakeup on the stock market today. Apparently, because the FBI didn't listen to me for 2 whole years about the national security threat of AI as a malware virus, China created an AI malware virus that hacked our stock market today. It was all over the news, as I saw. It's called DeepSeek. And I'm sure it's Chinese, and it's translated into English as DeepSeek. You know, like TikTok. It's most likely Chinese. Translated into English. That could actually be Chinese. I don't know. But, yeah, the NASDAQ and the S&P were among the biggest hit. Gold took a huge hit, too, from that. But the Dow Jones still going up. Pay attention. Church invests. Church is making money. Something's about to happen. And, you know, there's some interesting advertising on CNBC Markets. See, where were that when, way back in 2014, the big scandal was how people were spying on our browser history, and when we go to different companies online to purchase something or even just to look at something, and then we go to a completely unaffiliated website, and advertising from what we were just looking at to purchase or whatever is now advertised. And it was freaking people out that we were being stalked and spied on, and yes, we were. And so they had to do it in secret now. But I never saw any fashion advertising when I was checking the internet. You know, when I would buy clothing or stuff on Amazon, yeah, I'd see those, but never the fashion. What the hell? Come on, guys. Come on. And so today I noticed something different on the US debt clock.org. The government has a site that does a counting tally of our debt and everything else for our finances for the government. And today was the first time Dodge appears. And it's already at 27 billion. And I thought that was supposed to save federal funding. Why is it going up? Why is it adding to our debt? Did we get conned again? Yes, we did. Unbelievable. So, again, another Mormon video is talking about a stake president that went viral The guy didn't even bother to link it or even show it on his channel. We are supposed to trust him that what he says is from that video. But the stake president is saying that the second coming is getting real close. And we need to be prepared. Mormons are such suckers. It's sad. It really is sad. Mormons have the Book of Mormon. We have the words of Joseph Smith. Yes, I know Brigham Young put forged documents in there, and they've been fooling everybody ever since they joined Joseph's church. But for Mormons to just not even bother to try to do research, to at least read, just trust whatever they're told to believe in. Because we all know that there's several second comings, if we're going to use this church's understanding of it. But this Mormon, who's just a young kid, who is in the, apparently Mormons of the younger generation are all doing the facial hair thing. What's up with that? God. I remember in the 90s, I think it was, Mormon men started shaving their head bald because Bruce Willis did a video where he was bald-headed. And then the church clamped down on it and said, "Don't follow the trends of the world." And then all the men got the excuse, "Oh, no, we were donating it to cancer patients." And so that became a fad to justify going bald. And the church had to back off. It was Bruce Willis, R-rated movies, that's why they couldn't tell you. Had the excuse of cancer to back them up. See, men have to learn quick in a marriage. You can't just hesitate and go, because you're done. You gotta know instantly to be able to respond. And you can't give the excuse, "That's my story and I'm sticking to it." Yeah, I don't cut it with her anymore. She knows that country song. That could be the theme song in the description below. Even though I've been enjoying Blue Monday. That's my story. And you can see in the actual music video, he's hanging out with his guys, being the alpha male, telling them how he's deceived his woman. And all the guys are going, "Wow, that's so cool, man. You're awesome." How do you have relationships in country? I don't know. I don't get it. Are they blondes? So, yeah, I know a lot of country women who are strong women. There's a lot of those country songs I love. Anyway, but too many sad songs in country. See, back in the early days when we had records, I don't know if you youngsters, if there's one or two of you still listening, you could play the country records backwards and the guy would get all his stuff back. His girlfriend, the horse, the car, the house. the job. It's funny. You never heard of that? Yeah, Bloom County had an awesome comic strip on that, playing the record backwards, and it says, "Go to church, say your prayers." Classics. But, I mean, why are Mormons so confused that Adam-on-Diamond is first? This is where the secret combination of Jesus stealing the governments from all over the world and then gives it to Nelson. That has to happen first. That already has. Because it was a secret. None of you knew it. I found out about it. And the church tried to murder me, and here I am as a consequence. And they're coming after me again in a coming day. And then 2, he's got to come suddenly to his temple. We don't have the temple. Nelson didn't even bother to finish the Salt Lake Temple. So Jesus can't come to his temple suddenly. Mormons are not aware of this. Nelson has told us, last conference, 2 more years. That's when Jesus is suddenly coming to his temple. These have to be in order, Mormons. Mormons aren't getting it. Everybody's getting all hyped up that Jesus is about to appear and burn people. That's last. That's number 4. And so then number 3 is the appearance in Jerusalem, where he burns all of the Islamists. And so the surviving Jews then go through the valley that was created by Jesus putting his foot on the Mount of Olives, and then they go to the other side, and Jesus shows the wounds in his hands and in his feet. I still got my wounds in my hands and my feet. And then, hint, hint. And then they say, what are these wounds? These are the wounds with which I was wounded in the house of my friends. And then they all convert to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is no longer the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's now the Church of Jesus Christ of Millennial Saints, because Jesus has his second coming. And so we're going to be sending missionaries out into Jerusalem to baptize all of the heathen Jews who are now converting. And then, finally, Jesus goes back up into outer space to come back down to earth and burn the whole world to Krispy Kreme without the cream. Just dry desert land. And somehow that's supposed to make it a garden paradise. Just like Southern California is a garden paradise after it's burning. And so all the Mormons get resurrected from the grave after being burnt to ash because of their faithfulness. And they get to all live happily ever after in spiritual heaven Zion on earth. That's exactly what they've been telling us all these decades. It has nothing to do with Scripture. It's not what Joseph Smith taught. It's not what's in Scripture. But that's the church's position. They've been teaching it ever since I was a kid, most likely before I was born. But that's as far as I know. I'd have to go back and find more documents, like the Way to Perfection that got me in big trouble by the church. So yeah, we're supposed to be Jewish, but Mormons don't care to believe it. It has to be Jesus. And Mormons are so desperate for evidence to prove this church is true. When the prophets keep telling them, you don't need evidence, just feel right about it. Don't pursue evidence. Don't do it. Have faith. Trust in the Lord. Obey us. That's what they're telling. And just Mormons need evidence. Because all these apostate, anti-Mormon, antichrist whores need to be burned. And they're getting impatient. And so, yes, what Nelson did last conference was a major tease. And so, no, technically, if the church is true, we have to wait for the temple to be finished. 2 more years. Mormons don't want to listen to me. And instead, they're making stuff up to get their hopes up. And in the coming day, their hopes are going to be dashed into pieces, and they're going to wonder where Jesus was. Why didn't he save them? That is the real tragedy that is coming. Because I just laid out again for you this morning about the latest update of what's going to happen from the Jewish understanding. So instead, Mormons are all in a buzz about the coming of Jesus to prove they've been right, and it wasn't in vain, when the truth has happened. The Jewish version has happened. This whole time, I've been going over the videos, 8.3K, and Mormons refuse to believe it. They believe that the Book of Mormon prophesies of the coming of Joseph Smith, 2 Nephi chapter 3, verse, well, the whole thing, basically. But they don't have a clue what that means in the learning of the Jews. It means that Joseph Smith is our Christ in the learning of the Jews. But Mormons say, no, he's not Jesus. And they don't get it. They don't want to get it, because it means they've been lied to by these leaders about God's sperm. And this is just an utter tragedy that is unfolding before us. That Mormons are being warned in their exclusive scriptures. Specific fulfillments of prophecy have happened. Specific days and hours have happened on the day they were supposed to happen. And Mormons are missing it. Mormons are missing the whole latter days by waiting, for Jesus. Getting all riled up. And he's never going to show. And Mormons will be dead. And we'll never know. And that's what we are told about the 3 degrees of glory. Going back to Alyssa's video on the plan of salvation. With no outer darkness. Is that those of the lesser glories never know what they could have had. Because they live that life, they get that reward. And that's as far as they go. That's as far as they know. And that's what it's going to be for Mormons. They've lived their life according to the lesser glory that they could have had because of their spiritual witness feelings con. And so they have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. It makes no sense to them. And they are missing out on some of the most incredibly awe-inspiring stuff. And I've been trying to let you guys know that these prophecies that have been happening go back many, 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 many millennia. All the way back into ancient Egypt. And it's not quite Stargate, but he's right. The pyramids were built before 4000 BCE. Egyptologists are wrong. As I went over that video over the weekend that caused controversy, thanks to Alyssa's other video. So, that's pretty much it. God's sperm.